welcome to episode number 50 of Night Thrice, a podcast where three zany friends are going to give you a top 3 countdown in 3 wild topics.
Don't oversell it. Where's the soundboard? whatever that.
Yeah, the whistle you blow or whatever it is.
Slide whistle. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Tonight we're going to do a top 3 countdown of tabletop games, video games, and our favorite movies and TV shows from the last month. Well, let me make a side note there. To make it on the list, it has to be noteworthy, not necessarily favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a spoiler for later.
No, that's good.
Well,
that's
do you
good.
have something that's so
good.
bad?
Not necessarily.
That's good.
Obviously, it's almost Halloween. I did consider opening the show trying to do a Dracula impersonation, but I felt like if that failed...
Could you try right now?
Hello and welcome to...
Yeah, we're done.
of the Dead Night. I don't
You gotta
know.
start with a...
Yeah. You're always sucking
I like
in.
yours. No, yours was a tight... Like a... In for the kill. Look
Emily
at the
got
cup,
me...
too. He has
Emily
blood.
got me vampire teeth. I couldn't get them to stick.
It didn't work.
Plus, you'd be welcome to the Date Night Thrice.
Right.
3 friends
It wouldn't quite work.
searching for blood.
Yeah.
So if anyone listening wants to see our costumes, you can check us out on YouTube. And you can see that Ben is Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I am Fiona from Shrek when she turns into an ogre, obviously. Ken, are you a specific character or just...
Yeah, I am Bayman from the movie Season of the Witch, which we previously reviewed.
I was
My costume is a little disappointing once you heard us talk about it, but
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I
You
wanted to
have
make sure.
full-on chainmail. You have a metal crown.
A
And you have,
sliding
can I
crown.
see that shirt? Like, is that purchased
it's the
or
full.
made?
I'm here to kill
Like
infidels.
you have a tunic on.
It goes all the way down, baby.
I don't understand. How are you saying
the
that's not a
belt.
great costume?
He's-
It literally
yeah.
couldn't be better.
He's ready
'Cause I
to
don't
yell
have the-
witch and point
I
at
don't
someone.
have the helmet that looks like somebody cut a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket open and sprayed it
Well,
silver.
for next year, go buy a white,
Yeah.
circular white trash can.
Like I'm looking. Hold on.
Like a $5
just-
Target one.
It has to be ill-fitting. That's
So
the
this
number
is-
one priority.
This is like a serving or like a decorative bowl. Like this is about.
That's about how good it fits.
It's
Yeah.
fairly. But now imagine it. It comes all the way down and then
I
flares
like how
out.
it's like scoops out. Yeah.
Yeah, in case anybody missed our last D-list movie review, it was on Season of the Witch with Nicolas Cage, where he wore the most ill-fitting helmet I've ever seen in a movie.
Mickey.
Maybe it was maybe it was the most realistic helmet. Maybe that's how they fit.
Right. One size
It was
fits
like
all.
boing, 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 like banging around. It was very...
This blood is delicious.
What type of blood?
Yeah, do you have a preference?
I am at a time in my life where I don't want to know actually what type of blood it is.
Whoa.
I'd rather.
Things have gone south for you, or what?
Yeah, is that
I'm
a bad
having
thing or
some-
a good thing?
I'm having some conflicting feelings. So
Yeah.
you can get this mail order system where it just shows up. I don't know where it comes from.
Right sellers for blood. Is my chainmail loud? Well, when
if
I
you
do
do
that, yeah. But
Is my
No.
clapping loud? Like,
if I cough on the
That-
mic, is it loud? No.
That lets everybody know who's only on audio that you're wearing chainmail. That's
Yeah.
how they
It's
know.
true.
That's true.
It's the real deal. I think it's aluminum. We went out in the garage. We took an arrow. We tried to poke through it. I educated my child on armor types.
Now he knows.
And he said, "I think an arrow could go through this, Dad." And I said, "Try me." But
So he shot it at you.
we're not there yet. No.
oh man. Yeah, do you guys have any other ideas for someone who doesn't have a costume yet? What about some D-list favorites? I was trying to think of a
D-list
good
favorite
D-list, but I feel like there's no
costumes?
D-list female characters that
God, that would be such
have a clear costume.
Take a bunch of different sized cardboard boxes, kind of hook them all together, so it's almost like a cityscape. Put that on your back, and then wheel around like you're a mortal engine.
I was gonna say you could be, one of
You
the
are a
cities
mortal
running
engine.
around.
Like lay
Just
on a
put
wagon.
cardboard on your car and drive around.
Like get through people's yards really fast.
Oh, do not do that. Do not do that.
Yeah, we're not getting in trouble.
You guys could make a good. What were the characters from Jupiter Ascending? You're supposed to be the Wolf Boy.
The Wolf Boy.
And
Jupiter Ascending. I was
Mila
thinking you were
Kunis,
talking. Sorry, I thought you were talking about.
It's the other one. Yeah. With the planets?
Yeah, the City of a Thousand Planets.
The
Valerian.
other sci-fi one that was
What's her
also
name?
Larilyn?
Yeah.
Lanolin? Like sheep's wool?
Lorelai.
Lorelai.
You know what though? I tell you what.
Their costumes were kind of like you wouldn't tell who
You
I
wouldn't
was.
know.
I wouldn't be like, I'm
idea.
Lorelai. You'd be like,
Okay,
who? I
loser.
don't.
But after we've been on this journey of bad movie reviews, I would gladly go back to Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Or Mortal
I've seen that movie
Yeah.
twice. I'll watch it 3 times.
I'd watch it
I
again.
dare you.
What I'd like to do is get myself a big group of people together. This is so tough. This is dream. This is dream Halloween costume. Mm-hmm. We have a party at my home or wherever, preferably my home. There's a group of our friends that we know well, interact with well, and then I say, hey guys, I've got about 30 more friends who are coming that you've never met. It's going to be a big party. Everybody in the group that knows each other, our tight friends, we're cats from the movie Cats. So we've got like 20 people in the house
Oh, no.
dressed as cats.
Creeping around.
And you're like on the counters and
Yeah.
shit. And
Never break character.
That's
right.
as if you're the person. You're like, get out of here to the people.
Right?
Oh,
No,
get
yeah.
off the counter, and it's someone.
You as the
Exactly.
host,
Yeah.
you as the host are not in a cat costume.
No, and you pretend they're straight up cats, where you're just like, God, these things won't get out of here.
And
Where
my
They're
wife
singing
loves them. I don't know. They're everywhere.
They're singing stupid songs about their secret names, and you're like, "Hey, get out of here!"
Anytime somebody comes to the door, they're all like in the hallway, right? They're doing the
Yes.
up the wall and stuff.
they're like on the deck looking at the moon and shit.
And then,
Like,
of course, I'll pay Idris Elba to be there naked because that was his role.
He
He's
does.
just nude.
He doesn't have anything on at all. Just like the movie.
oh my gosh,
Right.
I almost spit out all over the computer there.
Good.
Why was it like he was naked in that?
It's because his cat fur was the same color as his skin. Like,
didn't
No,
No, like-
no,
Made
it's
that
because he didn't
decision.
have fur. He just had
It was like-
skin.
It was
He
if you
just
just
had-
had like leggings on and a tight
Yeah.
shirt.
maybe.
And it was the same color. Like, the whole thing was
Maybe.
weird. That's very weird. Okay,
They ran
well,
out of budget on him.
if anyone wants to do that, please send us a picture if you pull that
Mm-hmm.
off. I would like to see that. So what's up? What are you guys drinking tonight?
Blood.
Oh,
Blood.
that's true. Sorry.
Blood.
That is
I
blood.
regret you asking. This is the worst gin I've ever tasted in my life. It's by a company called Loon Man. It's Minnesota native.
Ooh.
You ever have like a dark rum that's too sweet? It's got that like liquor sweetness
Yeah.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a gin that has that, but 2x.
That's
Ew.
weird. Oh,
Plus it's
2X.
Plus, it's really flowery, so it's like sweet
Oh, no.
So
flower.
it's like a sweet potpourri that you're.
It's gross.
Sounds like the
Ooh.
Iron Bay, but worse.
This is
way
way
worse.
worse than the Iron Bay. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna
Oh.
keep on trucking.
Oof.
Oh, and I was telling Emily, I already felt like I was gonna puke. So if at any point,
It's
From
out
the
of
gin?
here.
another hot tip, another reason to watch this on YouTube, I have headphones that go under my chainmail
So we
and
can
into my
hear it
ears.
the whole
So
time.
if at any point I need to puke, I'm gonna take the whole computer with me when I run out of the room. So just stay tuned.
You've really
folks.
backed yourself into a
We
corner.
will keep
here.
that
And-
in if that
And
happens.
as an added boost, my trash can down here is wire, so I can't peek in that. There's nowhere for me.
I switched this because I keep looking at you and you're over there.
Oh,
I'll have to
weird.
puke in the Nick Cage helmet. The gold
but it's gonna like splash up.
Right, it's just gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Like splaying.
Let's simulate me shooting it right at the camera.
Like get that perfect angle.
Yeah, it's like slip and slide style. I don't think you could get an arrow through that, baby.
I love how, like, when we said we were going to dress up for this episode, you said, I already got it. Which tells me you already were planning to dress as Nicolas Cage before you knew you were going to do it on a podcast.
I saw the movie and I saw what I liked and I knew what I wanted to be. I don't know what to tell you.
I like where your head's at.
It is ripping these headphones to shreds. I cannot. It's pulling them out at every.
And that's why.
Oh no,
they didn't wear headphones.
Yeah.
Well, you ask what's up. Like for me, what's up? I talked about.
First of all, I did not ask what's up.
I don't think anyone did.
If you want to talk
Emily
about
did.
what's
Emily
up.
asked what's up.
I kind of did.
Okay.
She said, "What's up? What are you drinking?" Well, what are you drinking, Em?
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah. It's red wine and brandy and apple cider and orange juice. So it's like a sangria.
Mixed?
Yeah.
Holy cow!
It's like a sangria.
Is it
little
warm?
Thing.
Tastes like blood to me.
No, it's just room temp for the most part.
Would it be
delicious?
Warm, you think?
Yeah, probably would be, especially if you threw some cinnamon sticks in there.
Sure,
you know?
I could see this being warm.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Nice.
It is good though. It's really good.
It's great.
It's beautiful.
Okay, I couldn't resist. I talked about Gooey Cube on the last podcast.
That's right. Yeah.
Here he goes.
Getting ready for the D&D campaign. So what we're gonna do each episode, because I can't help myself now that I'm running a campaign or about to start one. Anyway,
you haven't started.
We gotta do the Ben's D&D update.
Yeah, get a 5-minute D&D update.
We're 2 weeks out from the start.
5 minutes. Begin.
It's coming up soon. And I've been getting ready, man.
You would think Ben has to take like the bar exam. Like every morning he's got a pen, a highlighter, and a book. And he's like in a chair and he's just going to town.
That's what you gotta do, man.
So I have the first 4 chapters of the campaign, and I've read the adventure books through chapter 4. And one thing I found really interesting is that as I was reading it the whole time, I was like, how would I run this? How am I going to run that? What happens next? Where do they go here? What's all the stuff that happens? And then I read chapter 4, and it was kind of complicated, so I had kind of like put it off because the way that it operates is just different than all the other ones. But when I got to the end of it and I read how it ends, I went, well, what happens next? Like all of a sudden I was reading a book. And I was like, well, I can't wait for chapter 5. Like I want to know what the heck happens next.
Interesting.
Ooh. That's fun.
But so then I've gone back.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone back to chapter, but that's the thing. Normally, you buy a module, right? You buy Tomb of Annihilation
story.
Or whatever. It gives a little summary of what happens in the beginning, the big bad, how you should run it, this and that, and then it goes into the book, and you kind of like point to point, like how you run this and what monsters are where, and the maps and all that kind of stuff. And there are stories in this thing that are just for the DM. They're like a short story that you read that sort of makes you like understand something that happened that the players, they never even get to see because it would sort of like spoil things for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? You read about like this like assassin snuck in and tried to kill somebody. They got stopped by this magic person in this way, and like it's really cool, and you're like you kind of understand what's going on here, and then the players never even get to see any of that. And it's the kind of thing where like
That's cool though.
I totally hope the players get to the same way I was at the end of that chapter. Like, well, okay, well, now what do we get to do? Like, this is crazy.
That's awesome. That gives you the power, though, to sell it, right? You can't fake a good campaign,
right?
Even though I have no experience in it, you have to have like. No, I'm serious. You can't.
Yeah, I know
you're right.
You cannot wing it, so you have to have backstory.
Well,
That's awesome.
You talked about last time, what is the advantage of buying a well-written module? And it's the pacing of the adventure, right?
Okay.
You said that. Is that I could never put something together that sort of like feeds information at this rate, that way that it makes it intriguing. Like I would spoil it all up front.
Yeah,
They would trip over the big bad when they walk.
Or you would mistake, not you specifically, anybody would mistakenly trying to lead them somewhere. You would give them too much, or you would give them too little, right? So giving them just the right amount to sort of, what's this, what's that, where are we going? Oh man, that's cool. I want in.
Well, and it's like, if the end of this story is a big deal, like think about Wheel of Time. The end of the story is the last battle with the Dark One. Like that's so far away that in the beginning of the first book that you don't even know what that looks like.
Doesn't matter.
You don't even know if that's even going to happen. And as far as the imagine, so like when you're reading the Wheel of Time, you sort of this omnipresent third party.
Yeah.
In this adventure, it's as if the player characters are Rand, Matt, and Perrin. So they get thrown into something, they have no idea what it is or where it's going to go, and they don't even find out any of that stuff. They're sort of like pushed along by the plot.
And they shouldn't, right?
Which is
Sorry.
I feel like it's a lot different than a lot of modules where it's like you get hired to go like take down some blood curse, and it's like it's already a big deal. Like there's high stakes in the beginning. And this is completely different than that. It's like you are just, the Wheel of Time example, you're shepherds or a farm boy or a blacksmith. This is your part of a carnival, right? Like you're just youngsters in a carnival. Well, I don't think it's carnival. I think it's carnival.
Okay. Is that the Dracula speaking or?
I don't know. I need to decide before we start. That's for sure. I'm getting all tied up in the story, which is not what I wanted to talk about at all. Because what's been consuming me is exactly what Emily's talking about.
You used up your 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're
I'm out of time. All right. Well, I've been going back through, been reading things. I've been highlighting the stuff that I want to be able to see if I scan the page. Like there's a check here, like a wisdom check or a strength check or whatever. I'll read the flavor text. Maybe I'm role playing with the character or with the PCs because I'm some NPC or whatever. And if they ask a certain question, I want to have them to have to do a check. That's hidden in like a paragraph of text. So I've highlighted that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool.
And then there'll be like, maybe you should have this happen, or maybe you should have this happen. And I have like little arrows and notes that are like, have this happen actually right after this happens. And maybe it won't go that way. But the whole thing about over-preparing is like, if I manage to sort of like memorize all this stuff, then when they inevitably do crazy things, I can, if I have the whole thing memorized, you can be like, this is where we were, and then we do this crazy stuff, and all of a sudden, hey, look, we're back on track. And you don't even know that we got off track.
Right. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to play.
I want you to play. That would be fantastic.
Well, obviously people listening don't know, but even watching, Ben is like full on. He has like the pants to match, like full on suit.
I'm dressed to impress.
I did want to say my voice is like going, so I'm sorry if I'm like coughing and stuff during. I'll try not to.
Drink more of that
drink
blood.
more of that. Also, this is hitting me hard.
Thick. It's thick like
it's gonna be rough from here on out. I can feel it hitting me. It's thick.
Let's do it.
Hey, get wild.
I'm like losing my voice, so I'm sorry if I'm coughing in the background.
Whoops.
Is this me just drinking and like getting crazy at this point?
You had left the intro music playing this whole time. I didn't even know.
I'm sorry. It's because I had it.
Wait, it didn't like play in the background
all the way.
or something, did it?
No. It was muted.
Because it was muted.
It was muted but playing.
But Ben, it's because it's on loop. I'm sorry.
Head. You guys want to watch me rip my hair out?
Yeah.
Anybody with long hair, don't put on chainmail.
I didn't realize it would be so painful.
What's
you know
hitting
what I mean?
you? The blood drink?
Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe it's hitting me and I don't even know.
Is that the other day, Ben saw a picture or saw someone. Oh, from, what's it called? What is the Lord of the Rings show called?
The Rings of Power?
Rings of Power.
Yeah.
The captain guy, what is his name? I'm not going to remember.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Isildur's dad?
Yeah, he's got longer hair. Oh no, my voice is going. And Ben was saying he should grow his hair out.
I was saying,
What
no,
are
you said,
the
you
votes?
literally turned to me and said, you should grow your hair out like him.
No, I didn't.
Well, sure.
Yes,
if
you
look like
did.
that, dude. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Like, if you...
The only reason
Dude's
I have
okay.
even been considering this is because I was like, well, I know Emily likes it because you turned. Are you kidding me right now that you're saying this? You literally turned to me and said, I bet if you grew your hair out, it would look like that.
No.
That's what you said. I was there. It was right there. No.
We were in the car and Ben said, I like his hair. And then...
Oh my gosh. The only reason I said that was because when we were watching the show, you said, I bet if you grew your hair out, it would look like that.
Yeah, but that, like it would look like that doesn't mean on you.
You should be so lucky. That dude is like...
So my thoughts are, should Ben
Get
try
a
to grow his
taste.
hair out?
Yeah. Let it
Do you
rip.
think?
Yeah.
What about when it's like to your ears? What do you do with that hairstyle?
Slick it back. You
Just,
gotta bring
like,
it way back. You gotta
constantly
figure.
push it
Yeah,
back?
I'm going to get
just-
stuck in the
honestly,
in-between.
Go to a barber. Tell him you're trying to grow it way out. I need you to mostly style it. Trim what you got to do. Let's do find another picture of that guy with slightly shorter hair.
Oh,
Or,
that's
you know,
true.
whoever.
You had to grow it out.
Nobody takes
Yeah.
pictures during the in-between. They don't
It
exist.
doesn't have to be him. Find
You
anybody.
can't find him. I'm sorry.
Nobody knows who that guy is except right now. Hottest fantasy DILF you can find, right?
Thanks for spitting blood all over the keyboard, Emily.
Like, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm already drunk. Things are happening.
Is anybody going to
Let's
pick that show as part of their top 3? Because it
We'll
definitely
see.
gets- Okay. All
I
right.
think,
We'll
I think
see.
someone did.
All right.
All right, let's get this show on the road here.
This thing is fucking crushing
You know what
my
that
skull.
sound means?
Sorry. I can't
Question
do that.
time, baby.
All right.
Okay,
Wait,
we actually have
no.
2 questions today, really quick. No?
We're doing questions first. Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, is that okay?
I'm not
okay?
used to the...
We do the questions,
New
then we get to
format.
the
Did you
top
get a
three.
haircut, Ken?
I did, and I'm really messed up by this mirror.
I don't
effect.
understand why you're so confused. This is the 50th episode of this podcast.
I'm still learning. Well, part of it is I'm using in-ear headphones, and I had a literal
That's
metal
really throwing
cage
them for a
around my
loop.
head. I feel like I'm buried alive.
I'm teasing because this is the second episode using a format we never discussed. So
I'm sorry. No. All right. Questions. Nice. I like this up front. That's
Wait,
fun.
we have 2 questions today
Okay.
because one's a little bit quicker. First one, someone wrote in, what is a good birthday present? Sorry, for my board game geeky husband. Help. So if you are a board game obsessed geeky husband, what do you want for your birthday?
Gosh, that's hard. Because you can't buy a game.
I say no games.
yeah, no game.
I say no game, first
Right?
of all.
If he wanted a game, he'll get the game.
Yeah.
And that means maybe you're looking at game adjacent accessories. So like high quality dice or a dice.
Yeah.
What's the thing you throw the dice in?
Yeah.
Dice
Like,
tray.
we're
Dice
just
tray?
doing this.
Dice tray, dice tower. Gosh.
You hear that?
I don't know.
Ben? You might need
There's
to
somebody in the house.
No, Ooey's upstairs. You know what okay, wait, side note really quick. We're just gonna cut the question for a second.
Look at us.
So Ooey was barking and I was like, what is he barking at on the deck? I turned on the light to show him and I'm like, it's just me. I didn't remember I was dressed like this. And I was like in the window and he gave me the look like, holy F, we need to evacuate the
kill
house
this thing.
immediately. And he like
We're in
slowly
trouble.
rose and right away I was like, shit, I shouldn't have shown him.
Oh,
And so
no.
I tried to make it for the basement, but by then he was already at the door like pissed. So I think he's kind of losing it.
What do you get
Okay,
for
I'm
a
sorry.
board game
I agree
pro?
with you, Ken. I also wrote down game mats.
Yeah. yeah.
Game Toppers is where we got our like table board game mats, which are really nice.
Game Toppers LLC.
Yeah, they're really good.
Ooh.
And then if you just search in Etsy a lot of times, like a specific board game, a bunch of accessories for that board game will pop up.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's always like, if they like Wingspan, you want special pieces or
That's
stuff
true.
like that.
Yeah, I don't know when it was. Episodes and episodes ago, we did like mostly Emily did a gift guide, and it was like, get them the juicy stuff for stuff they already like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if they mow lawns, okay, you got to get them the luxury headset, or
Get the "We Ride at Dawn" shirt that has a mower on
right.
it.
Oh my God.
No, that might go
You
over
could.
well. Depends on your, I don't know. But yeah, something that they wouldn't otherwise purchase, that you don't need to play the game, but it's just going to feel that much better to get it out, right? The neoprene mats,
Exactly.
the nice dice, the dice trays, whatever.
The
nice and
first
nice
place
trays.
I would check is like if you know what his favorite 10 games are or whatever games he likes to play or games you like to play with him. Go to the Board Game Geek store and look at the Geek Up bits and buy a set of Geek Up bits for whatever game they like, because
That is true.
they're expensive and they're worth it. They're the kind of thing you hesitate to buy for yourself, but are an excellent gift. They're
They are
like,
nice.
I don't know how to describe what they're made out of. It's almost like they're like domino pieces. Think about it like that, but of all kinds of board game components from all kinds of games.
Are
They're
they like
really
acrylic?
cool.
Or they're not
Yeah.
though. They're not that lightweight though.
No, they're like kind of like heavy. We have
know
them
what the
for
material is.
Dice Throne and for the Wingspan
Wingspan.
food. And they're just
Okay.
awesome.
That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Otherwise, I completely agree with you guys. Like, just go get accessories that are adjacent to that support it, right? Like token trays or dice trays or fancy poker chips to use instead of money in all the games. Like most
Yeah.
games come with like cardboard chits for money or whatever, and in all those games, we use the Roxley's
Like
poker
little poker
chips.
chip
What
ones.
the heck is that
Yeah.
called?
Even better if you can get something that's pretty universal, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like a nice set of like heavy clay poker chips that kind of look fancy that you can just use in
Those are
every
nice,
game.
Yeah.
That works great. We played Food Chain Magnate last weekend, and that comes with paper money, I think. I've never even seen it because we always just use poker chips. Like right now I'm obsessed with D&D. In the past, I was playing D&D but wasn't obsessed with it because I was just a player character. Now that I'm running the game, it's about 100 times as much work. It's just something I'm like obsessed with. A fancy DM screen or like whatever.
Ooh,
like there's a
yeah.
billion Dungeons and Dragons accessories.
That's true.
Like I'm easy to buy for this Christmas because like I'm all into that.
Okay. Let me take a
Till he
look.
crashes and burns and drives
Yeah.
home one night crying, and you just
Right.
like,
Right. When I just really let everybody down.
he just comes in.
I knew it would happen.
Ken, we got multiple of this question.
Did we?
I don't like
Does
it. This is-
Ken look like Matt Smith from the
I
House
hate
of
this.
the
Let
Dragon?
me stop you right here. I hate this.
I think
Because
I have a feeling like he knows
You know
who's.
what?
I think
I
he
have
knows
a-
who sent this.
I have a couple of examples, okay?
Well, it's my wife because she's asking on behalf of someone else. I mean, yeah, if you think a skull with flesh-colored cloth draped over it is a human being, yeah, we look about
Do you
the
guys
same.
watch House of the Dragon?
She does. I don't. But I've seen
what?
him in
I
Doctor
haven't.
Who, and
Yeah.
he was in Morbius, who's with us
What is
now.
up with these actors who have? I don't know how else to describe it. The distance between their chin and neck is like a
Right?
football. Like
I'm
I don't
glad you
know how
said
Elrond
that.
is
do
the
that.
same way.
I'm
I don't-
glad you said that because I'm watching these shows and I'm finding myself increasingly self-conscious
No, I'm
about
like,
my
I
neck.
have 8 18 chins.
I'm not kidding.
I don't have that.
And I'm like,
I know,
what the fuck is going on with their head? Because even if I
No,
lost
I think that's
30
why they're
pounds,
actors.
it wouldn't look like that, dude.
It's not
No.
weight. It's not weight.
Like,
I don't
that's
know
my
what it
throat.
is.
My tongue's in there, dog. You can't have that.
Right. It's not like there's fat here. Like I run into
I don't
like
understand.
parts and pieces.
I have like 2 inches, like before I hit my throat. I don't understand.
But to
Wait,
answer
turn
the-
sideways.
Me?
Let's see. No,
Her.
Emily.
Oh well, I
You've
don't-
got,
let's-
but yeah, you have.
Oh, you're good. You're fine.
You've got 8 miles.
That's,
Look at
that's
this.
Yeah.
when I'm doing this.
Right.
Like,
If I do this,
Like,
it's
I got
a
nothing.
double chin.
Like,
If I
it's
look
just
normal,
a
it's like
sl-
8 chins.
The bunny
No.
slopes down. I don't.
No. It's
To
that thing
answer
of
the
like,
listener,
yeah,
oh come on.
I couldn't find
Yeah,
the
all right, I
pictures.
see it. I'm seeing it now. I hate his hair, obviously, but
His like young Legolas hair.
to
That's
answer your
what it
question,
is.
I come from a long line of German people who have eyes that are so sunken into their head that you look like a living dead person all
I got
the time.
that too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Deep eyes.
I got
Yeah,
the
sure.
deep
That's a
eyes
nice
too,
way
where
of saying it.
it hangs over.
Well, this isn't
Ben
makeup.
has
That's
that.
just how I look.
Right. You with makeup is not as grim as me normal.
Oh no! I thought you were saying me with makeup is not as grim as I look without it. That's what I thought.
No,
Okay.
No, now I'm seeing it because his eyes are pretty close together, which mine are as well.
I think
Again,
it's just the eyes, though.
I don't
But
know.
it's not
He's
quite
got some-
the eyes because
he's got
his
some
eyes
honker
are.
ears. He's got some
He's-
big ass ears.
He does have big ears.
Respect to my
Do you
man.
think those are modified for the show? I thought he was
Maybe.
like an elf.
No, in the show he's not an elf though.
He's
He's
just got big ass ears.
he could pass as a
What's the? Go back to the
off-brand
first
elf.
picture.
He's just got
normal
big
size
ears.
I guess.
Just big
I have
ol'
big
ears?
ears, so I can't say much.
Okay.
Okay,
all right,
what I
I'll
was
allow
thinking
it.
though
I'll allow
is
it.
overall from like a fantasy film. I think you look like the most is this this picture right here.
Oh.
Everybody needs to go to YouTube to see
Gandalf?
this one. So this is you as Gandalf
Yeah.
and Megan as
Thank
Frodo.
you.
And this is
so
one of the
good.
best
Might be
costumes.
our
It's another
best
costume
costume we've
idea
ever
for
done.
everyone.
It's so good.
Was your beard a mop? Or is it just yarn?
It's a yarn, a dirty yarn.
Perfect.
Yeah. I
Like
think you
dirty.
just-
It has to be
Well,
dirty.
you can see it. It's just a string across here, and then you just tie yarn over that string
Perfect.
over
I
and
just
over
love
and
this
over.
photo so
The
much.
fun thing about this costume is because both people have to wear wigs and cloaks and beard. My wife and I not only got to make out as Gandalf and Frodo, but then we got to swap costumes with very little effort.
kinda-
Mid party.
There you go.
It's good.
Perfect.
I highly recommend it.
Tiny
Another
Gandalf with
costume.
giant
Yeah.
Frodo?
Exactly. That was,
Yes.
my wife is not that short.
No,
She's
Megan is.
kneeling there.
I was gonna say Megan's like tall, considering. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Okay, those were our 2 questions.
Oh
So
man.
we're good for questions.
All right, gang. You know what? Everybody tune. Let's stop yanking everybody's chain here, and let's get this show to where everybody wants it to be. We're going to do our top 3 of the month. So this month's categories, again, are tabletop gaming, video games, and movies or TV. We are going to do a
Like
top
that.
3 countdown, and this month we are starting with Emily.
Oh.
And we're going to go... Or did we start with her last time? Well, whatever.
No, I
we're
think
going to
it was
go...
you.
I don't
We're going to go
remember. It doesn't
clockwise
It don't- like,
around the stream. Counterclockwise?
just stop.
It'll go Emily,
Streamline.
Ken,
Always
Ben.
keep
Emily,
doing
Ken,
this.
Ben. That's
Okay.
what we're doing.
Okay, my number 1 is a video game. It is Teenage
Ooh.
Wait,
Mutant.
3 first. 3, 2,
3
1.
first. Yeah, we start
Okay,
with 3.
my number 3. I don't have any order.
Stay tuned for the ad for HelloFresh later, guys. That's what we're
wish.
teasing you towards.
Okay, my number
Yeah,
3 then.
be nice.
It doesn't matter.
All right, your number 3 is
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
The
Okay.
Cowabunga
Excellent
collection?
choice.
Or
Have you played this, Ben?
specifically... Well, we have the Cowabunga collection.
Okay.
but
So
we
this
haven't-
one I think is newer, right?
I would
Which
have
one is Shredder's
whatever the
Revenge?
one is that's on Game Pass. The game that just came out.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that. No, because they also released all other Ninja Turtles games
Oh, okay.
as a pack. So I don't have this.
This one, okay, so I don't know the other ones. Obviously, so this like arcade style, like, like Streets of Rage 4 style.
Sweet.
It kind of looks old, but it looks new enough that you don't have like all the glitches and issues of stuff. I like glitches. All the kids always say glitches.
Glitches. Cool. I love that. But it's
kind of challenging at times. You don't instantly die, but it's like still, it's fun. So the cool thing that I read about this, so we obviously just play 2-player. You can do 4 players local, or if you do online, you can do up to 6 players. Which I thought that was kind of cool. If you want to play with friends online, 6 players.
Who are the other 2? It's Casey Jones and
April O'Neil.
April and Splinter.
Cool. And Splinter.
And you can be Splinter. So we did it. We went through it once, but it was really fun. I really liked it.
It was really good. I would say it's an easier game to like drop and jump into than like Streets of Rage 4 was.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's similar.
But we also played it on like medium or you can bump it up still too.
Yeah, it has a weird story mode where you level up over the course of it, which you get more health and more abilities and stuff unlock. And then it has an arcade mode. You can play through the same levels, but you have like limited lives and stuff. So we're in the middle of an arcade mode play, I think.
Yeah. But
I don't get this because it
was really fun.
I think I maybe accidentally got the Cowabunga collection when maybe I was shopping for this, which Cowabunga collection is everything since like 1984. And they're all, they're impossibly hard.
No, the old ones are so hard.
It's stupid.
Old games
like the kids can't play it. Nope. I can barely get through it.
This one the kids could play.
Okay. Because we can play Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage is hard, but it's good. It's like that. Fair. I think it's reasonable. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's more akin to the new Streets of Rage. It's meant to be played on a console or PC, and you're supposed to play through it at some difficulty level. It's not the arcade games, which are meant to get you to spend money, or the Nintendo ports, where I don't know what you were supposed to do other than put in the cheat code to get 99 lives and play it every day in the summer when you're in second grade, like I did with Kyle Peterson.
Yep.
We played Turtles 3 on the Nintendo and there's a lot of stuff in here that was like reminded me of being like 7 years old playing that game.
It reminds me of an old game the way the style is, but it plays smooth like a new game, which I enjoy. So
all right.
Highly recommend that.
Love that. I'm gonna get it because Streets of Rage 4 is like
it's just like
mass. Streets of Rage 4 feels like what you remember playing Ninja Turtles or, whatever side-to-side scroller.
Because if you actually played the one you played, you'd be like, what the fuck? Why am I dead the whole time? I don't like
Streets
this.
of Rage on the Genesis.
But what I remember were good memories of the time, which, like you said, is like the newer version.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass, Ken, so you can just
nice. All right. But I need it on Switch, so we can all I'm sure it's reasonably well on Nintendo.
Just install it on Game Pass and play with us. Who cares about your kids?
That's true. Yeah. Not me. Not me.
All right, Ken, what is your number 3?
My number 3 is it's not technically a movie, and it's not a show. It is a Halloween special on Disney Plus called Werewolf by Night.
Oh, I haven't
Werewolf
seen this.
by Night is technically, I hate to say it because it creates presuppositions about what it might be, but Werewolf by Night is a Marvel joint. It's a Marvel. It's 50 minutes long, so it's not a movie, but it is a deep dive in, well, that's generous. It's a dive into, it's a love letter to old school Universal monsters. Exactly how if Dracula was in this special, he would look like Ben. It would be immediately apparent it was Dracula.
Right.
Right?
It's no questions asked.
Is it
Dracula.
live action or animated?
It's live action. And the premise is a bunch of monster hunters have been gathered to inherit the throne of monster hunting. And so they've got a monster. We powered him up somehow. You have to kill him, and you have to get this object off. You have to get the MacGuffin off of him. It's fun. It's gory. It's black and white, almost all the way through, with a few exceptions. And so I think it being black and white allows them to get a little crazier with the gore. Because there's blood in it. There's blood on the camera in it. But it's not for shock value, I don't think. Anyway, it's fun little.
Do you think, Ken, that this let me ask you this question first. Are there any characters that are developed over the course of this that are memorable?
Yes.
And the reason I ask is, do you think this is a precursor to Blade?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. This is Blade becoming part of the MCU.
I'll spoil that. He's not in it. There's no... What's refreshing about it is that it does not lead in, Iron Man doesn't show up at the end and say, let's kill this werewolf, right?
Spider-Man comes in.
And you're whoa.
I feel like we're sort of reaching a saturation point with Marvel stuff. And so this is kind of refreshing. That being said, it has its Marvel moments where I kind of rolled my eyes of like, I wish you just went with there's some really tense stuff in it. And then you'll get a joke and it's like, it's not bad. Just keep it tense. Just keep it spooky. Because I don't want to see Thor
keep it spooky
fight
for real.
Yeah, I don't want to see Thor fight a vampire. I want to see people who don't know how to handle vampires fight vampires.
Yeah.
I want to feel underpowered. Anyway, it's fun. It's black and white. It's 50 minutes. It's free. So it's like you could watch this zero effort and have fun with it.
I will.
The cast is great. As usual, I will say this time and time again, they cast expertly in Marvel, with the exception of Hawkeye, because nobody likes Jeremy Renner. But
he's got that nose, though.
He's on the podcast next week.
What nose? No, he's not friend of the pod. I'll confront him.
Jeremy Renner, friend of the pod.
We'll take Nick Cage and we'll take Ryan Reynolds. If anyone knows them,
text Jeremy Renner. You are coming into a hostile podcast
environment.
Let him know.
No, it's fun. It's fun. Especially it's spooky season. It's 50 minutes. You'll never get like uncomfortable. It's very, I don't want to say family friendly because there is blood, but it rides that line. It's good.
Okay. Cool.
Well, speaking of riding lines, thank you for the excellent segue, Ken. We're about to ride a line between expressing our feelings and providing spoilers. My number 3, and this falls under the noteworthy category and not necessarily under the favorites category.
What is happening?
Is Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power.
Okay.
Season 1 has just completed.
Yeah,
I'm assuming we've all watched the entire season.
I have not watched the end episode, but
okay.
I'm about halfway through it.
Oh, that still does that.
I am fairly certain who is who.
We can't give spoilers anyway.
Yeah, you can't spoil that.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to.
Can you not? Because you're really good at spoiling things.
I know who's who. It's pretty obvious.
It was obvious who's who.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, but stop now, Ben. Even
that's not true.
You're starting to spoil it, though.
Because you have to have... There are characters that are obviously someone.
They do a couple switcheroos, though, every now and then.
There are other characters that I think you do have to have a certain knowledge of the Silmarillion to see who they are.
Right. Yep.
And we don't have to talk about that.
There's definitely a period of time in the final episode where I turned to Emily and said, "Are there 2 timelines?" Because right now they're having me believe that two different people are the same person.
Oh yeah, no, I saw right through that. You're dumb. I'm smart. I saw through that. No, I'm kidding.
Because obviously, like,
you're right though. They sort of announce things that are conflicting.
Right. Yeah. Yes, because I did before some of it, when some of it's announced and some of it hasn't been yet, but you can figure it out. I turned to Emily and I said, maybe these are two different time periods.
That would be cool.
I didn't think.
But that wasn't the case.
And that's needlessly confusing. Okay. Let's not talk about the last episode.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the season as a whole. Okay.
Excuse me.
Let me go first because this is my number.
This is your number 3, right?
My number 3, yes.
It's not like an honorable. Okay.
This is my number 3 because I wanted to talk about it.
I'm glad you picked it.
I felt like for the first many episodes, maybe 4 or 5 episodes. How many were
there total?
8, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think for the first 5 episodes, I was very positive in any conversations I had with people about the potential of the show. Mm-hmm. I thought this is like you can see where all that money went.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All the sets are
definitely
amazing.
Good sets. Good costume.
Everything it's like the
good.
opposite of Wheel of Time where you could see the budget was tight.
The budget is there. It's right in front of your eyes.
Wheel of Time was like you have lot 1 and you only have
that's
lot
it.
1.
You have one city set. You have one bedroom
Rosamund
set.
Pike take all this money, or whoever plays
I don't
Moraine?
get it.
What's the deal?
I don't understand how they. Yeah.
This was like everything looks great. And then they start introducing all these storylines, and it was like, man, whatever. Like I am having fun.
Okay.
Like they're giving me little hints about characters I know from Lord of the Rings and characters I know from the Silmarillion,
right,
and it made me go watch 8 million YouTube videos about the Silmarillion.
Me too.
And learn a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of stuff
great.
I didn't know. And I loved that about the show. And I was like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? How's Sauron going to teach them how to craft the rings? Like, when's that going to happen?
Yeah.
When, like, the Deceiver and all this kind of stuff. And I was, like, excited. And then when some of the storylines started to, like, come to climaxes, mainly, I believe it's episode 6, I was, all of a sudden, I was like the payoff for what they built up towards, I was like, really?
You weren't happy about? I wasn't necessarily sad about it.
Really?
I was like, come on.
I more just don't like the Harfoots. Like, they can get out of town.
I just, like, there's a MacGuffin in one of the storylines of a magical sword. So you know which one I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow, what do you like trying to not give away things?
No, well, so Ken knows what I'm talking about. It's obvious. That comes up right away.
Yeah, but just like
what that MacGuffin turns out to be is like, what? Like, what? Why would that even be a thing? That doesn't...
You're thinking too hard. I agree with you, but at the same time, you're thinking too hard about it. But I'll back you up because in an otherwise expertly crafted show, which I think this is really good. As far as Lord of the Rings stuff goes, this is as good as we're going to get.
Yeah.
In a show. It's not really going to get any better than this.
No.
But I agree. The sword thing, you were left with sort of like...
What?
So they planned that to do this, to do that?
Right, like, when did they plan that?
And
it doesn't make
were
sense.
they waiting for that to... I get it.
Couldn't they have just done that at any time? Like, it's just weird.
But on the flip side, that it's a MacGuffin. It's a vehicle to something much more important, which once you get into 7 and 8 episode, it's clear. I think they're playing to a broader crowd, sort of.
And I will say, my episode numbers might not be right, but I was very disappointed in episode 6, if I'm remembering correctly, and I was not. My expectations for the final episode were very low, and I had a really good time watching that episode. I thought the events of that were like enjoyable.
Remember all of it.
Okay.
Though, except for the one part, and this isn't a spoiler. And I turned to Emily and I was like, "No, this isn't a spoiler." If her friend comes up to her and has to say goodbye to her again for 5 minutes, I'm freaking turning this off. And then I was like, "See, I told you. There it is. Once again, a 10-minute goodbye scene. Like, give me a break. I don't need to watch that."
All right, let's back off a little bit. Like I said, I think this is as good as we're gonna get, which that's not a ringing endorsement. I've said that before about Star Wars stuff.
It's hard because the Lord of the Rings are so good because they put so much time and energy into it.
It's perfect.
And, like, everything was done to 100% when it came to anything. So, obviously, any show and this and that, especially using computers, is all of a sudden going to be like, well, it would have been nice if they had, like, a crowd behind them doing the, like... Right. They're not going to have that. Yeah. But if you said it's the same budget for Wheel of Time as this... Well, they did fucking A+ compared to the, D- that Wheel of Time was like, well, we have one building behind us and we're going to use this. It's
just that I want this to be great.
It's never going to live up to what you want.
Stop.
It's like a childhood memory.
Because
you're never going to get it to that.
Here's the thing.
No.
The dialogue, the writing, people are delivering lines to each other. They're never talking to each other.
Sometimes it is a little
that's
drawn
fair.
out that I just
think that's fair.
Can we move along? I'm sorry, can I cut you off before?
No. I your critique of dialogue is fair. It plays like a book, which I think is intentional. Mm-hmm. But I think they did a very good job of mostly making this feel like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy movies. This is not the show is not a commitment to the Silmarillion. Make no mistake. They're not trying to do that. They dip into it, but they're not trying to do it because that would be boring and horrific and...
Well, and I think they can't. Right? Didn't they...
I don't think they own the rights to it.
Right. Isn't what they bought everything that wasn't written about?
Oh, really?
It's not Lord of the Rings and not the Silmarillion.
It's like
that's the only stuff they're allowed to make the show about is not that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Really?
They essentially bought everything but
this is
the
definitely
written
the Silmarillion. This
yeah,
is
but
the
it takes
last
place,
book of the Silmarillion.
Give me weird.
But it's kind of is in this weird afterward. I didn't read the Silmarillion.
Okay, but all right, let's back up. Casting's great. Galadriel's great, even though you have to grow to like her.
Even though she talks, she doesn't open her mouth all the time.
Elrond's great. Killing.
Yeah, he's good.
He's got neck for. He's got the tiniest neck I've ever seen.
That dude has
I can't even do that.
Chin.
Yeah, it's unreal. It looks CG.
You could put a sword under. You could put a sword to his neck, and you wouldn't even be close.
Oh, I would be the person if someone did it as a threat, would immediately cut me because they'd be like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize it was right
Elrond,
there."
Durin is great. Durin the second is great.
Yes.
Right.
Even the Harfoots are okay, even though we're spending a lot of time on them and nobody really cares. Yeah.
I hate. I'm sorry, but all
We're getting too into it. We're still
all the scenes look good, and the Harfoots is we're in a play.
You're absolutely right.
Why is it that?
And why do they
leaves in our what?
But I don't understand how we're supposed to feel about them. We care about family and this and that, and it's
no, they don't.
Dude, you get behind. F you. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna celebrate your disappearance every migration.
Yeah, but
you guys, let's talk about everybody who fell behind.
I don't like that.
I think they haven't spent enough time.
We could have just helped them.
They haven't spent enough time focusing on whoever the core Harfoots are to get us to like them.
Yeah,
Instead, they're spending a lot of time on this weird Harfoot culture, which nobody gives a shit about.
No, they're fucking weird.
We have to what's her name? What is the main?
I have no idea.
Joni?
Who cares?
Her with an S?
I don't know.
Fari?
I'll look it up.
Farty?
Fari?
Fajri.
Farty.
No, that's the way I
Farty.
work with.
It's Farty, I think. Anyway,
Joni? What is it? Ben's our researcher.
I'm on it.
Here's the
Rings
takeaway.
of Power.
it's in the third spot for a reason. I think it's a good show. I think it's accessible.
Yeah.
I think it has cool characters. It's got that hot DILF Numenorian that Ben needs to grow his hair out for.
Woo!
You got to have the
what's up?
beard though. You got to get the beard.
Yeah, you
like
have to have
dude.
that. Otherwise,
If you don't have the
weird
beard,
if you have long hair and you're like
right?
nothing. That's
the
weird.
beard
Yeah.
evens out the hair.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
I like Gil Galad.
Did you figure out her
Is that
name?
him?
Farty?
I'm looking up everybody. I'm just looking up characters. I see Gil Galad, and I just remember that I like Gil
I think
Galad.
whoever plays Galadriel, even though as a character she's initially sort of unlikable,
A douche. Yeah.
I think she can absolutely carry that show. Whoever that
She's
actor
good.
is. She's
She
really good.
Doesn't open her mouth more than half an inch, though.
Right.
You notice that?
But she's
like, do you
she's
see
a hard ass
from the
bitch.
west, blah, blah, blah,
She
blah,
is
blah, blah.
not taking shit from
Yeah,
nobody.
no, she is someone that you'd be like, hey, you like bump my car.
Nori. Her
when you-
name is Nori.
Nori. Farty.
It's not
Nori.
Farty. Are you sure?
I'm positive that it's Nori.
No, Galadriel she's good, though at first she was hard to like.
Yes.
She
that's
doesn't
true.
open her mouth much. I find that
Yeah.
weird. I
Yeah.
do enjoy that everyone says her name different. So
Yes.
some people are like
That's
Galadriel,
cool.
and some are like Galadriel. Like
Galadriel.
it's so intense,
like this.
and it's like it was Galadriel, and you're like, what
It's
are we
all
saying at this
low.
point? I'm not quite sure.
Galadriel.
Galadriel. Like, what are we doing?
Do you
And
think I
then-
can
No,
find
I
a
like that. I
meme
think that's
about
cool.
Elrond's neck?
No.
Well, there's
Maybe I look hard
even the
enough.
guy who
Above
plays.
his neck?
They cast the elves.
How do
Elves
people
are
do
cast
that?
based on. It
Do
must be
they
some
turn
kind
to
of.
the side?
Is that a what's that called? Look at me.
Even if
I
you, like,
fucking
if you
pull it all the way back, it looks like I have a venom sac. Like, is this poison?
Like his chin is so far away from his
I know.
neck.
His
People
chin
who-
goes up into
When they-
his head.
The fact is, when they look down, it's still tight. How? How?
It's I'm not shaming them. I just don't
Okay.
understand.
We're all 35, and I feel like we're
We're
all
jelly.
like, look at
That
those
doesn't matter.
goddamn-
I
Look at these
remember
elf
being in
necks.
high school band and I couldn't button
I
the
didn't look
neck
like
of my
that.
uniform. I've never
love-
had
I
8
love that
inches
at
from
this
my
age,
neck
we're all
to
like,
my
are you
chin.
seeing that goddamn jawline and neck?
I went to my plastic surgeon and I said, "Can you get rid of this throat because it is in
Yeah,
my
see,
way."
that was the thing. They would be like,
No throat.
what would they do? I would get the surgery and it would be the same.
Anyway,
All right, gang.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
let's sign off on it though. That show's pretty good.
I think it grows on you, though. At first, I wasn't a huge fan. Keep going.
Yeah,
If you're not a
that's
huge
fair.
fan, it grows on you.
Yep.
And
I
you know
agree.
what? Like, if you, what's her name? Nari? Farty?
Farty. Nori.
Nori. Nori
You
and the
don't
gang
have
are
to-
kind of annoying. Maybe they'll grow on us. Let's just, we'll wait.
We'll
We'll
see.
see.
We'll see.
I hate that
And-
they're always like acorns in my hair and shit. That is goddamn.
Wow.
Are you serious?
That's quite the distance.
But like, I don't want
Do
to
you have
rip this
another
guy
picture
too hard.
of him?
He's got a small face, and then it's chin and forehead and hair.
I
Sorry,
like how you just described a face,
I just
though.
destroyed that.
Face, a chin, a forehead, and hair. If someone was just telling you,
It's like a 3x6. You have a 3x6 to create a face,
you have a card, like an art
and
project.
then inside that,
I just
like that dude's hairline was. That's a tight
Yeah,
ass hairline.
but when he looks down, no fucking double chin. He is.
Oh, never,
bless him.
never. He can't
He
get
He
one.
can look down, and it's still tight as shit. So
I don't want people to think this is like we're beating up on him. That dude is an excellent Elrond. He might be the best cast.
he is really good. Right
person
away,
in
you
that
go.
show.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh,
I did
Elrond.
like
Yeah.
the sort of like joke between him and Durin, where he's like, Durin's like, well, you did get tired, right? And he's like,
Maybe.
not really. All right, well, like you said, Ken, let's wrap it up. a final word on the first season of Lord of the Rings. You say it's worth a watch.
I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
I would agree. I think it's worth watching. I think
if you like fantasy, I can't think of a better, bigger, like high fantasy elf, dwarf, that sort of traditional fantasy thing. It doesn't exist right now. So, watching. Yeah.
Emily, is there anything else you'd like to say about the Harfoots before we wrap this up?
I don't like them, but I would say give yourself a few episodes for this, though. At first, the first couple episodes, I wasn't sure. Just keep going, though.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Galadriel also rubbed me the wrong way, but I like her now. She's okay.
Well, I think that means it's time for our number 2. Emily,
oh, God.
what
time to poop
is your number 2?
Okay, my number 2 is a board game.
Whoa, nice. A board game.
I'm sorry. It is. Something just fell. It is Downtown Farmers Market. So I played this with Natalie and Sam. I hung out with them last weekend.
Girls.
Exactly.
Sorry, that's incredibly rude. Boys' night.
I'm sorry.
Emily has provided pictures of all her choices.
Oh, nice.
I didn't do that.
Like this
Downtown
already.
Farmers Market. Okay, so this game is super simple. It is 2 to 4 players. It takes about 20 minutes. It's 7+ for the age, if anyone's wondering. But all you do is there's some challenge tiles. So you have 8 challenge tiles, 4 on top, 4 going down. So you have the rows and columns.
Is this picture of that game?
Yep.
Okay.
And then on your turn, you're choosing like the ingredients to go into those rows and columns. So you get points for trying to, make the requirements. So it will be things like, 1 point for each cheese, or 8 points if you get no cheese in this column, or 5 points if you get exactly 3 corn. Like just specific things. So turn by turn, you're having to choose from just a few tiles saying out. And so you choose, you put it somewhere in your little grid, and you're hoping you can either get the row or the column, or both, obviously, would be the best situation.
So if I look at the picture here, is the bottom row of this person to the left, every corn in this row is 5 points?
No, it's saying if you have 5, I believe, times 5, you get 8 points.
Well, they're not on a good start here. They only got 1.
No. Wow. So, or some will be 6, and it'll be like 6 of an item. If it just has like a number, or you have to have like 2 corn and 1 cheese.
So it's like a goal.
So it's the goal that you have to get.
You're trying to achieve it.
You can obviously get just your row or just your column. If you get both, obviously that's a bonus.
Does the game start with those point tiles out?
Yeah, you like grab them and then lay them out.
Is it random?
There's either side. So I think that you get to choose either side kind of thing. Yeah, like, geez. So I think you grab 8 and you get to pick one side or the other.
Well, I tell you what, if I was this player in the bottom left, I'd grab this double corn tile right here. They're in trouble. Look, they barely got any milk here in the milk row.
And then the other thing, which I don't... Okay, so we only played this once, and it was just the 3 of us. But if I remember correctly, it was like there's 5 tiles out of the ingredients you choose. The first player...
Looks like 4.
No, listen. The first player picks one, and then they get to discard a tile, and then the other 2 people get to pick. So I think there's 1 left over, essentially, though. And so then it's you bring out a couple more, someone picks one, gets to discard. So they can essentially look around and go, you need corn, and get rid of, the tile.
Were you guys doing that to each other?
Not really, just because it also would be like... It would be that thing of, like, you could sit there forever and be like, well, you need this, and but...
oh, my God.
But I liked it because this is a perfect game for, like, the holidays. Like, Thanksgiving or Christmas and families coming over. I like that. Like, anyone can play this game. It takes 2 seconds to learn. It's 20 minutes to play, if that.
What's the name?
It looks cute. It's Downtown Farmers Market. And it's super simple to play. Like, half the time you're like, well, I screwed myself over for this, but whatever,
Yeah.
because it's like a 20-minute quick game.
Got a big
Seems
grid
fun.
in front of you. Yeah.
It was really fun though, so I really liked that one.
I'll try that one.
I want to play. I'll
Yeah.
get it.
So yeah, that is my
What the
number
heck?
2.
Where's it at?
Rip me.
Okay, Ken, what is
Oh,
your...
wait. No, we're going to back off. What's the...
Yeah.
Yeah?
What is the box suggested playtime versus reality?
Box is 20 minutes. It probably took us 20 minutes.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
All right. That's
I would say like
a star.
maybe 20 to 30 minutes, just because
Yeah,
maybe we're
of
slower.
course.
But like it was
Yeah.
about the same. Yeah.
Nice.
I know. Sometimes
Perfect.
they're like 90 minutes, and you're like, it took me 4 hours. But
it's 2.5. But sure.
yeah, we'll pretend.
Right.
No, it was pretty good.
Nice. I want that.
Okay.
All right, now, Ken, what is your number 2?
I think you and I are in sync here. About to break it down.
Man,
It's a
premonition.
video game called
Uh-oh, we might be.
Overwatch 2, which is currently free. Was I not supposed to say it now?
Ben,
You're right. My number 2 is Overwatch
Okay.
2.
Ben
You were looking at
hasn't
me like-
taken a breath. Like he.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Overwatch 2 as well.
I should have just waited until you passed out and rolled out of your chair. Overwatch 2 is this, big air quotes, sequel to...
Is it just the same game?
It's the same.
It's just more shit, right?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Literally.
I'm sorry.
It's 1.25. But possibly certainly my favorite team shooter ever. Possibly one of the best team shooters ever. Drac,
happening
let
to
it out. Man.
Drac?
You look like you're about to
What
pop.
happened into Drac?
Let it out.
Keep going. No,
You
I'm...
guys,
No, I'm-
I'll be right back. You guys keep going though, because
Well,
I've
I
never
gotta-
played, so I don't have
I
much
gotta
to
pee
say.
too, so all right, I'll get everything out.
Oh, you
It
get
is-
everything out.
It's technically a sequel. Realistically, it's not. It's a map pack. It's a few characters. If you want to rib on it for that, that's fine. But newsflash, genius, it's free. So suck it. It's the best team shooter that has been made in the past decade. It remains the best team shooter in the past decade. The changes they have made are smart and intelligent and make sense for this game. Speaking on sort of a moderate, medium to high level, non-pro thing, it's great. 5v5 is different than 6v6, which it used to be. I feel like I'm speaking directly to Ben in defending my thesis here. It's a great...
Keep it
It's
going.
great. New heroes are pretty good. It always needs balance, but I think they balanced it pretty well overall for the new 5v5. Tanks do what they need to do. DPS needs to do what it needs to do. Healers are buffed pretty much across the board, I think, which is appropriate. New maps are great. New game modes are fun, but a little lacking. But again, it's free. I don't like Battle Pass, and I don't like purchasing skins, which is doubly
Very expensive.
Which is doubly horrendous because now I have to defend loot boxes as like the ideal way to get skins, which is insane. I feel like...
Would I rather spend $20 on a skin or $20 on loot boxes and never get the skin?
Loot boxes. Every time. Every time. Every time.
Right.
But,
I
you know,
think
that's
you're
the
right.
nutshell. It's, if you haven't played it, now's your time because it's free. It's on everything. I don't think it's mobile, actually. Is it mobile?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC. It's free. It's a great shooter. Get into it. Try it. I love it.
I mean, there's no question, right? Overwatch 2 is maybe Overwatch 1.2.
Yeah, that's fair.
It is so much so the same. It's just an update to the original in the fact that like when I open up the game, I had all my same characters with all the same skins and all the same tags and voice lines and victory animations and everything still applied. Like it has all my play time with all my characters from Overwatch 1 in the menus. It's all the same. It's the same
executable. Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Like I loved Overwatch when we played Overwatch 1. And and I never really thought too much about why we stopped playing. Now we tried to come back to it later, and it wasn't as fun. And the reason why, and I think is the reason why Overwatch can be good and fun, is that it's really good for the like the semi-invested player, the somewhat better than cat, right? Like at a competitive
player game,
at a highly competitive level where you're putting lots of hours in, and you're playing like seriously. The competitive mode can be competitive, but that mode isn't fun. There's metas, there's ways you're supposed to play, there's this and that. The change from Overwatch to Overwatch 2, where they went from 6v6 to 5v5, is supposed to mix up the meta. They changed tanks to be more aggressive instead of tanky, so the game is more offensive. And that's another thing that I think plays into what I'm about to say. So the player base exploding in numbers of players, which then makes the seriousness or the let's say the variability in player skill makes the game more fun. Because I don't want to play at the level of the competitive players where I'm taking the game seriously, but I also think that the game offers a lot of opportunity to be good at it.
Yes.
But what we found, like when Overwatch was many years old, is that the only people still hanging on were the people who were super serious about the game.
And that's true of virtually every game.
Exactly. Right? And so what I like most about Overwatch 2, I like it two ways. But I like that all of a sudden there's a big influx of players again, including us. And all of a sudden it's fun just like it used to be. And I mean that very literally, just like it used to be, because I'm playing the same characters in the same ways and having the same fun, and that's fine because I loved the game so much before. But then also what I find is that the change, maybe this is my imagination. Maybe I'm just making this up.
Just a fantasy. Just an erotic fantasy.
Right. The 6v6.
Maybe deep down sexually 6v6 was a turnoff.
6v6 where you have two tanks, two DPS,
I'm sorry,
and two support, and they're playing in a certain meta, and the support is supporting the two tanks, and the tanks have to play a certain way, and everybody's expected to be very sort of like turtley and long.
Turtley.
The game changed to 5v5, and the tanks have switched.
Fiona with the sucker is really good. Like,
I'm trying not to cough. I'm sorry.
Do they make No, I'm going to cut you off. Hard stop. Why don't they make cough drops on sticks?
You know what? They do for kids. And that's why that's why I
Where
thought
are
of
the
this.
Ricolas? Like a big ass.
Yeah. Because I was like, I need essentially a cough drop, but like I can take it out of my mouth if needed to
talk. Tootsie Pop size Ricola.
Yes.
Right.
Wouldn't that be
and in
best?
the center is, I don't know, weed gummy.
But,
sure.
I was going to say like cough medicine if we get to the center.
Just liquid, just NyQuil, just
God, I feel like I'd be addicted to those.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right.
What I was getting at is that at 5v5, inherently you're not as tanky because you're missing a tank.
Can't be. Yeah.
And also the tanks were changed to be more aggressive and more damage dealing and not as tanky. Mm-hmm. The whole game, the game as a whole, is more aggressive. There is more.
Tanky.
There is less feeding the other team as a negative, and more of like there's a lot more back and forth. And I find that as a casual player, semi-casual, right? Play a couple times a week, once or twice a week or whatever. Drop in, like just fight some guys for a little while. Is a lot more like that. Is a lot more welcoming in the new format than it was in the other one, where unless you went into some weird mode, You had a sort of an expectation of how you were supposed to play.
That's true. Yep. For anybody at home, real quick, the basic premise is 5v5. You fight each other to control a point or to move an objective. It's very cartoony. There are 36 unique characters, I think. Whoa. Which is pretty... It's a lot.
And they're very different from each other, all of them.
Yeah. And so you get it's sort of like if you play fighters in that way, you'd like it, but it's a first person shooter. Anyway, I can't think of a better team-based shooter. It's so good. Get it, baby.
It is. But every criticism, every joke about it being Overwatch not 2.
Oh, it's not. It's not true. Overwatch 2. It's not.
But I'm just glad people are playing it again, and we're playing it again, and I'm having fun.
Yeah. The criticisms are absolutely fair.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Ben, you trying to explain things when you have like blood in your
mouth?
Face, as if
Well, if you saw, my fake blood had crusted and was falling off.
But what's funny is it's the same as if a kid had jam on their face.
Wait, now it's real blood? The fake blood crusted off, and now it's real blood?
No, it just the chunkiness of it fell off.
But it looks like, if a kid was talking to you.
Blood?
I don't know.
Ben cut himself and then dabbed in.
Girl,
it just looks like this thing where you'd have to be like, Dracula, do you know you have a little something right here?
Something.
I never. I feel like Drac would never. He would never make that mistake, right? Dracula.
Clean, right?
You know what I almost watched the other day?
Huh.
Was we joked about it. It was Dracula Untold, which is
What's that one?
Sort of prequel to The Mummy that we watched.
Wait, they actually made that though?
Oh, was 2014. They were trying to build out the dark universe.
I didn't know they made another one. I thought
Mummy
killed it. No, it was before The Mummy. Dracula Untold got made. And then The Mummy got made. And The Mummy is what killed it.
Oh. You know whatever movie's coming out has The Rock in it. He's a...
Black Adam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same universe?
No. Not even
that's
remotely
DC.
close.
That's he's in close. Shazam.
Okay,
and
but
Henry
what's
Cavill,
his name?
Superman.
But I can't think. What's his name? Pierce Brosnan is in that.
Different character.
And
totally.
So I thought it was him being the same as.
Actually,
you can't fucking have the same guy being the same kind of character in two fucking. Okay.
The thing I suggested before.
Turns out you can.
Werewolf by Night feels more like a dark universe than the Mummy, ever did.
Okay.
Actually, I think a Dracula movie.
I like that. That'd be good.
Right? Then you do Dracula, then you do Blade. Easy peasy. We roll it into the cinematic universe.
Makes so much
shit writes
sense.
itself. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Okay, well,
what's Emily's? Time. Did we do number 2?
Yes.
Yeah, mine was Downtown Farmers Market.
Did I black out? Okay.
It's time for number 1s, baby. It's that time.
Man.
So
it's
Ben,
time
your
to get
number
serious.
2 was
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch?
Yeah, we doubled
Overlook.
up.
We doubled up.
Yeah.
We high-fived. We did that Arnold what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, it's from Predator.
From Predator, yeah. We did the thing.
It's, God, what is his name?
Everything I'm touching is green.
You're all getting distracted. All right, it's time for our number 1s.
What is that actor's
You can think about it while Emily tells us what her number 1 of the month is. Em, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is something I stumbled upon yesterday. So I was going to have a different one.
What?
Fresh.
And then I saw that there's a season 2 of Unsolved Mysteries, bitches.
Megan fucking started without me, and I'm pissed.
Oh, man, you should be pissed.
I should be. I am.
The new Unsolved Mysteries is so good. It's on Netflix. And my only problem with it is that they're unsolved. I am pissed that someone doesn't give me an answer at the
You
end.
know what you signed up for.
Exactly.
You
Every
gotta play
time
a grip in
you're like,
his crown.
as they're
I
going
wanna
through,
watch.
I
They're
want to see
so
blood
good.
coming out of your hand.
Yeah, right.
As you're like, they're always so good. And as you're watching, you're like, yeah, I bet it's that. And then 10 minutes later, they tell you another detail, and you're like, well, I bet it's that guy. And then they tell you another detail, and you're like, well, why didn't we know about this? And then they're like, and that's it. And
If you have any information, call.
what?
Yeah.
What? We haven't solved. Of course, they haven't solved it because it's Unsolved Mysteries. But what the fuck? Okay, I've only gotten through 2, and the second one of the second season is about UFOs. Ken, I know you love UFOs. And UFOs not far from here, Ben. They are in where are they? Muskegon and Holland, Michigan. That's
Oh my gosh.
2 hours,
That's
hour and a
like-
half from here.
You guys
Just
are
think
in
about the
abduction
Paulding Lane.
range.
That's a 1-day thing. We could get crazy. So they're talking about UFOs and all this stuff. It was interesting. But man, I love Unsolved Mysteries. They're so good. They're so good.
They're good. That first season.
I still go
think-
back to the one where the guy fell through the roof. The
Oh, yeah.
one
Yeah,
every time.
yeah.
Have they solved that yet? Like, when are we
know.
gonna get solve the? Anyway,
The woman
so
who
good.
died where I grew up. I think.
Yes. She
yeah.
walked in the water.
I remember hearing that. I was
Right?
like,
Yeah.
I'm 6, but I don't know what's going on here.
Man, they're
Yeah.
so good though, and they're told really good, and the way that
Yep.
it's so good.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if you like that sort of thing at all, it's on Netflix. It's fantastic. Go watch.
I just have one question. So
No.
Emily and I, our work office is together, and we're like in an L. So I can see her computer screen.
Yeah, you're always creeping.
And she was watching Unsolved Mysteries, but I didn't know that. And what I
I
saw
was
was,
watching something before
But you
it
just
though.
said that you could see her computer screen.
yeah, but I can't hear it, and
Sure.
it's just stuff on the screen.
Okay.
I saw a woman open up a like a living room display cabinet, and it had a bunch of stuff from a teenager who I'm assuming was either missing
her
or
daughter
dead.
died. You jerk.
And was that
Jeez.
the real woman or was that a reenactment?
No, that was a real woman.
That was the real lady?
Oof.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
That was intense.
Nothing. It's just intense. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
I was hoping that wasn't real. Where'd she go?
Well,
She go.
you gotta watch the first episode to
Well, it's
find out.
unsolved. Nobody knows it's unsolved.
She
Man.
got. So I'll give you a little. I mean, you find out right away in the first episode. A girl gets hit by a train, but they're like,
That's weird.
I don't think she just accidentally got hit by a train.
No.
And that's all you know. That's all you know. Okay?
Oof.
Go watch to find out more.
All right.
Okay?
I love
Okay.
it.
They're good.
I'm in.
I was close to recommending a different show, but
Well,
I
just
love
name
Unsolved.
it. What was
it was
the other
The
one?
Watcher, which is also on
don't say
Netflix.
it. We're gonna watch it. We have plans to watch it.
I found that one just interesting. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Also, but
Did you-
the one other thing about The Watcher is it is based on a true story,
Right.
which is why I think I found it interesting because it wasn't
Okay.
completely
great.
made up. It
Oh.
was like the fact that like someone actually kind of went through most of this. I thought was like
Oh.
I find that more scary than like blah,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know
Me
like
too.
popping out crap.
Yeah.
Where even if it's not that like spooky, but it's just someone being like, yeah, someone rang my doorbell at 3 a.m. and this and that.
Like over and over. Yeah.
that
yeah.
creeps me out more
Yeah.
than, you know, like, woo, and a person was in my hall all the time, like a ghost.
Right.
Like that's,
Right.
so I found that one really good too. But yeah,
What was
those
I
are mine.
gonna I can't remember.
I know what you were going to say. It's whatever your number 2 is, Ken. What's your number 2?
My number 1. We're on
Oh, number one.
Number one.
What's your number 1? I'm so
We're so
sorry.
bad.
Gosh. I'm falling apart here. Dracula needs to go in his coffin.
Jack.
Got some Draculas up in there. My number 1 is I'm halfway through it. It has 6 seasons. I've watched 3. It is without a doubt the greatest show I've ever seen. It's the most well-made
Really?
show I've ever seen.
Okay, what could it
It is
be?
the tightest. It
What?
has no fluff. It has
What
no
is it?
wasted
Did you
moments.
say Game of Thrones.
No, God, no.
Okay. I was like,
Come on. You guys know me. I think I've recommended it before when I started it. It's called Better Call Saul.
yes,
It
you
is
have. I think recommended it.
It's technically a removed prequel to Breaking Bad. Look at him.
Have you ever watched Breaking Bad?
No, and I never will, so don't ask me.
Us either. I feel like we probably just lost like 10 people.
They made
oh my God,
so
Ben! Ben!
That's
Are
perfect.
you there?
No. Let him,
Like
he
you're
would not
fluttering.
do that. I've seen many Draculas. And
They don't flutter.
anyway, Better
Okay.
Call Saul, they made after Breaking Bad. And it shows because everything they took from Breaking Bad that maybe they made mistakes on, and I'm sure it deserves all the praise that it gets. I'm not going to rip on it. This show is so good. It's so, I cannot believe how remarkably well written it is. If you like character drama and you like character driven storylines, this is it, man. This is
So
the
he's a lawyer,
cream
right?
of the crop. He's the lawyer.
Okay.
He is his name's James McGill. The title comes from
Jimmy.
a pseudonym he takes on, Saul Goodman, as in, it's
Okay.
all good, man.
Oh,
That's his
man.
catchphrase. He's not a
bad
good
guy.
dude, but he
Yeah, of
wants to
course
do the
not.
right thing.
He's a lawyer, Ken.
Right. He's like me. He's an
Right.
awful person who wants to do the right thing.
Money, money, money. No.
All right. As long as you pay him, he will do the right thing.
He'll do
No.
it.
No. He's got this bizarre. Well, like I've never seen Breaking Bladder,
Black and blood.
but I broke my bladder once.
Black and
But-
Blad.
Black and Blad. That, from what I understand, that is a story of a dude who basically goes off the deep end.
Yeah, right.
Heisenberg loses it. He's an egomaniac, and he gets what he deserves. Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul,
Gets
is
his
about a
just
dude who
desserts.
generally wants to do the good thing, but the ends always justify the means. So whatever he's trying to do, he'll go to pretty shady lengths to get to.
Okay.
And he's an attorney, which has massive, what's the word?
Ramifications?
Ramifications. Perfect for, he solves the immediate problem, but then it just, every step
Spirals.
forward, he takes 2 steps back.
Yeah. What is going on? It's like you're on some sort of weird program. Let me ask you.
It's because I
wanna-
hate these headphones. I cannot
Ken.
listen with these headphones.
you said this is like the greatest thing ever. I trust you. Where can I watch this show? Where do I find
It's
it?
on Netflix.
Better
Really?
Call Paul.
Saul.
Got it. Saul.
When did they start this show? What year? Do you know?
It's old. It's been done.
It's old, right?
finished.
It's been.
It has 6 seasons. It's over. It's done. And that's what
That's
I like
good.
about it. Yeah.
Awesome. So
you guys wanna see-
you don't have to watch Breaking Bad because you haven't.
As
right?
far as I know, no. I'm
Okay.
sure there's treats in there for you
yeah,
if you saw
like
it.
little.
But it,
Right.
it doesn't sound like it is necessary
does
in any
not
way.
affect
you,
my
You
viewing
seem to
at
be having a
all.
wonderful time with
No.
All right, we'll have to try that.
it. Yeah,
I
for
cannot. I will never recommend a show this hard.
Ever
I'm serious.
again.
Watch
Alright.
it.
That's
or I'll kill
crazy.
you.
You always give me stuff to watch, and then I have to go watch it. Thankfully, we do the podcast
Like-
once a month, and I have plenty of time to watch.
Watch it.
Wait, you're smiling as Dracula? I just can't.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
care for Dracula, man.
He looks so
He's-
cocky.
He's like I'm an immortal being.
Okay, Drac. What's your number
Yeah,
3?
we'll call your
My-
immortal
number
Uber
1.
back home.
Number 1.
My number one, well, you guys are never going to believe this. Mr. Board Game himself did not put a board game into this month's podcast. As
Whoa.
badly as I wanted to
Wow.
talk about
I am surprised.
I know what you did.
Food Chain Magnate, and I really wanted to talk about Thunderstone Quest, I'll have to save those for another day. because I needed, much like Ken wanted to talk about Somebody Call Saul.
Oh my God, you didn't even get it right.
I needed.
Am I breaking up? Am I drunk?
No.
That show is so good. I cannot.
I believe
stress it
you.
enough.
I just haven't seen it.
You don't. I'm gonna choke you out through the microphone.
I needed to talk about the TV show on Disney Plus called Star Wars Andor.
Oh, okay.
Have you
Watch
guys
Better
seen?
Call Saul? Yeah, it's
Have you
fine.
guys seen this?
It's fine.
I really, really like Star Wars
I
Andor.
haven't seen this one.
It's
yet.
pretty good.
It is.
It's okay.
It's like there's. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's. I've seen 6 episodes so far. I think that's all that's been released, and they're 2 3-episode story arcs. But the second arc picks up immediately where the first one leaves
2,
off.
3.
But that's
Yeah,
how it's
say
sort of
that
like
again?
built.
2,
It's-
3 story.
It is so far there have been 2 3-episode story arcs.
So
the
3
first
and
3
3?
episodes are a story arc. The second
Okay,
3
yeah.
episodes
Okay.
are
All
another
right.
story
Yeah,
arc.
that's true.
Just the way you said it,
Sort of.
quick. That
Yeah.
And I think they're going to continue to do that because, like, when it came out, they released the first 3 episodes all together.
And-
It's like one little story vignette, and then with the same characters, the next 3 episodes is another little adventure. It's almost like a D&D party. Here's one adventure
Exactly.
you went on, and here's another one, and now we'll go on the next one. But what I really like about this is, well, a lot of things. Like if we just start on just like we talked about Lord of the Rings and budget and stuff.
We done.
This show
Yes.
looks like
I agree.
full budget,
Yeah.
full blown
Yeah.
movie.
the Star Wars
Yeah.
always
That's
the
fair.
Star Wars shows always look like better than
With
But
the
there's
with the exception of Boba Fett, which we don't talk
okay.
about.
I
that.
did not see that one.
That
but there is
one,
something about this show that
Yeah.
just
It's
they just
movie quality.
nailed it.
Yeah.
And it takes it is set in the same time period as the original movie in some of the similar environments. So it's slightly beforehand, and the Galactic Republic has sort of turned over to the Empire now, and everything is starting to look more imperial. And you see the control rooms or the cockpits or whatever, and it's like recreations of the 70s stuff from the original movie, but like in super high def and clear, and it all looks like brand new, like built, and it has that same look, but it also like is built in a way that makes sense. And they have
Yep.
technology that like sort of looks old, but they have tablets. It's like the way they tied in.
Yeah, but the tablets are like, it's a 3-ring. It's thick as hell, right?
Yeah.
It's not an iPad. It's
It's
like
huge.
a legit.
they expertly took the sort of look of the original movies and brought it up to the modern day better than any of the other Star Wars so far has, I feel like.
Wait, what is the time period in this one compared to movies though?
5 BBY.
Oh dear Lord.
So this is
Sorry.
before
I
A
don't
New
know. I
Hope,
don't-
before Rogue One, and it follows Cassian Andor.
It's pre-Rogue One. This is,
Okay.
and I don't mean this derogatory as much as it might sound like from my voice. This is Star Wars for adults.
Oh.
A lot of Star Wars is for kids,
Yeah.
which I think is technically how George Lucas wanted it. This is Star Wars for adults, which I think Mandalorian falls into. Rogue One,
Tons of
certainly.
sex. Just sex all the time.
No. I mean, in the sense that it's quite the opposite. I'm glad you said that, actually, because it's quality storytelling. There are characters who have motivations, and then motivations change, and things are happening outside of the immediate scene that matter. Like, it's mature, but not in a, what if they had boobs in the scene?
Well, right. If let's just take a look at the first episode, right? As an example, Cassian runs into some trouble with some local officers, and they want to harass him outside of whatever he was trying to do. It doesn't
I don't
really
even
matter.
remember. Yeah.
And this is the beginning of the first episode. It doesn't spoil anything. He accidentally kills one of them. And the other guy immediately switches from being a badass bully to begging for his life. And you can see the scene is done so well where you can see Cassian be like, I've made a mess and I don't know how to clean it up. And he finally panics and then also shoots the other guy. And the way that's
Did
just
he
like
panic though?
But you can see him. He doesn't do it immediately though. Like he has to. He has to decide.
He chooses to kill the guy.
He is not a covert operative who's on a mission. He's not somebody who's like they're doing something undercover. Is trained or used to doing something like this. He made a mess, and then to clean up that mess, he then also kills the other guy, right? Yep. And like you said, that's sort of like a grown up scene. And then I love that it immediately switches to the sort of like the villain of the first story arc, which in that first episode you hate. It's the corporate guy, the corporate security officer who's like, his boss tells him to drop it. This is a mess that we don't need to clean up. And also everybody hated the guy that got killed anyway. Like, no, I didn't like that.
Well, he goes to his boss and the boss says, listen, it sounds like they tried to shake down the wrong guy and they got killed because of it, which is exactly what happened.
Right.
So the guy who tells this other cop to back off is 100% correct. He's absolutely right in telling this other guy to back off. But the other guy won't take it because he's altruistic and he wants to everything has to be perfect and save the empire and all this sort of thing.
Well, and that's the thing. The villain of the first story arc is a guy who's just trying to do right. He's a security officer and for a corporation where two of his employees were killed in a back alley. And he's like, I'm not going to drop this. I need to investigate this. And he's like,
to watch Better Call Saul. It's all this sort of like everybody's trying to do the right thing, and it's.
Look, I'm not trying to say that it's better than Better Call Saul.
No, I'll tell you, Better Call Saul is better. I'll tell you. Don't worry.
But I did like how I like the little things, right? The little touches.
Yeah.
His boss is like has it all figured out. He's like, this is what happened. Everybody hates that guy anyway. This is what we should do. The other guy doesn't listen to him. I love when he's like, did you modify your uniform? And he clearly has had it tailored.
He says
to be like tighter.
He's light tailoring.
Right. And I added some piping. And then as that story goes on later and he's like actually on the mission, you see that like the dudes all talk, right?
Right. Yes. It's good.
Then the next story arc is all about a heist, and like the way that gets pulled off, that's cool. And then the way that it all falls apart, like I just really have enjoyed this show moment to moment. And for me, the only two shows I've been watching in the past month, literally the only two, is Rings of Power and Andor. And while Rings of Power is worth watching and is like good enough to watch, Andor is great and enjoyable. And I just wanted to watch the next one every time I watched. As soon as I watched all 6 episodes over the course of like 2 days.
Wow.
It was just really great.
I will say, I don't want to deflate your balloon. Having watched Andor week to week since it started, ultra slow burn. If you pick it up now, 6 or 7 episodes in, great. Get up to speed, have fun with it. But watching it week to week, crazy slow, right?
I guess you're right, because for me it was just like two movies. Because I watched all of it all together. I watched the first 3 and then I watched the second.
3 episodes are 3 weeks. That's an eternity for a plot line that ultimately doesn't really matter, right? And then it goes into this other thing.
Well, and
but
you're
it's
not
still good.
Yeah, you're not the first person I've heard say that, because I was talking to Quinn, and he said the first 3 episodes all came out together, and he watched all 3 of them all
that's
together
right.
like a movie. He said that's great. Then the next 3 he watched as they came.
Really,
And what he said, he was like, I wish I just would have waited 3 weeks and then watched all 3 of those together like they were a movie.
Yep.
And
that's fair.
That makes sense.
I want to see what, like, that's how I got to watch them. They were all out. I just watched them all, and it was really just really awesome.
How many episodes total are there? Do you know?
There's 6 so far. I hope there's going to be another 3-episode story
8 or
arc.
9? That would make
9
sense.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's good, and having seen the second or 4 through 6, they're great. Yeah, it's slow though. It's good.
Cool.
Well, I think that brings us to the close of our countdown and to the close of this episode of Date Night Thrice.
We actually have a Would You Rather.
Oh, we do have
Oh,
a Would
nice.
You Rather. Oh, my
Treat.
goodness.
Do we have music?
Oh, you better
Am I
believe
supposed
it.
to have a Would You Rather?
Well, nobody knows. That's part of the mystery.
I'll come up with one.
Do I need to come up with one? Would you rather watch Better Call Saul or
Oh my god.
Star Wars Andor?
Better
I'll
Call
start
Saul.
since I have one. Oh, you ready?
Watch
Dracula?
I'm not kidding, you guys. Watch Better Call
I think
Saul.
he's
I was gonna until I don't like your attitude, so now I'm not gonna watch it.
All right. No, that's
This is
fine.
this is what Ben does when he has-
oversold it. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
No,
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Would you rather take a pill every day, like you get all your nutrients, the whole
Sure.
works,
Yeah.
and you always feel full, but you never get to actually eat food, or eat whatever you want, but you never feel full?
Oh God. Well, the latter sounds like real life, so I guess the former.
You'd rather do the pill?
Yeah, but like, what's my?
So it's like you're getting all your
Do I
nutrients.
feel satiated? Am I?
You feel full, but you never get to like taste flavor. You're just taking a pill every day.
I'm gonna take the pill, baby.
The pill would
think-
definitely be easier, but that's only if I've like never had food, I guess. I don't know. Would you still have the cravings, do you think?
I'm
Sometimes
looking
you'd
at
be
it
like,
as sort of a weight loss scenario. I'm
Yeah.
assuming the nutrients and the calories and the macro nutrients
It's
are
all
all
good.
good.
all good.
It's just what I want.
You just don't
Yeah.
get to eat like food and flavors. You just
Yeah,
have
give
the
me
pill.
the human dog food. Give me the pill. Bachelor
Okay.
chow.
I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna pick the I'm never full, but everything tastes great.
Current life. That's current life.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm saying. That I live in that world.
I currently am like,
I know.
there.
I don't
why?
mind living in that world. It's very satisfying
That's
to
fair.
be hungry and then get to eat. Like I
That's
like
true.
really
Yeah,
enjoy
but
that
I would
feeling.
always love to have more.
Yeah, and that's you then have more. Like
I guess I'm operating under the assumption that the pill.
You can never feel full though with the other way.
No, I'm
no matter
operating
how-
under the assumption
Yeah.
that the pill. I'm not eating anything in excess,
No,
right?
I feel like this is
because you would feel full, so you're not
Right.
going to. Yeah,
what's that
Yeah.
book where everything's black and white? The Giving
the
Tree.
giver, the giver.
The Giver.
The
It's
Giver.
an
All right, I
excellent
never
book
read it.
If you're in fifth grade.
But I feel like that's what this
Yeah.
is like you're choosing to live in a black and white
You should
world.
read the end of the giver.
And
then,
I wanna
because
live
you're
in
gonna-
the
Way to
color.
insult me. Yeah.
You're not going to be happy with the end of the
I
book.
want to
if-
take the pluses and the minuses
No,
of
this
having
is
the ability to eat.
This is strictly dietary. We are taking all the guesswork out of my nutrient consumption.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I don't have to worry about it ever.
Sure.
Pop that pill,
But also, like, what's your favorite snack to have with movies?
my pill, an extra pill.
So pills going down. Okay.
I just the variation, the
Sure, I get that.
possibilities.
I get
I
that.
not
thought you were
willing
going
to
to say
give it up.
possibilities.
like I and the thing is like you're not asking me to make drastic changes to how I already currently
true.
operate.
She's
I
not
already
asking
live
you
in
to
a
make any
world where
changes.
I eat too much. I'm just gonna continue to do that. Like, I'd rather than like live in my Soylent Green life. Isn't Soylent Green people? Am I spelling something else now?
Are you? Yeah.
Do you even know what you're spelling?
Do you live in a cave?
He lives in The Giver, which
I've never seen either of those things.
They're not things to be seen. The Giver's a book. No, Soylent Green's a movie. Yeah.
Soylent Green's a movie.
There's a Giver movie, though it's not as good as the book.
He refers to a woman's breasts as cantaloupes, and then he pointedly points out that he's never seen cantaloupes. That's a pretty funny intro scene.
That's pretty good. Oh my gosh.
I think we watched it as part of a class, I think. It was funny.
Whoa.
It's a funny movie to watch now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Would you rather?
Wait, do I need a would you rather?
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let me fire up the second monitor.
Would you rather be forced to eat a jar of mayo?
Chin's hitting me.
Jar
of mayo. Okay.
Or a tub of butter?
Oof.
Oh.
Let's do.
Are they the same amount?
Let's do. You go to the grocery store. You can buy the big jar of mayo that you'd put in your fridge, or you can buy the 1 pound cube.
Is that supposed to make it better? What the heck are you saying?
Can I spread them on something?
Or solo?
Or does it have to be with a spoon?
Is it solo with the spoon?
Oh God!
It's solo with a spoon.
Make me puke.
Neither one of these is good, but if you had to do one,
I would take mayo though over butter.
You're gonna eat it out of the container with a spoon.
Butter by itself,
mayo out of the...
that's too much. I can't.
No, I'm eating it. You're not gonna. You can kill me. I'm not gonna eat either of these things off of a spoon.
Ken will take
Gotta
death.
pick one.
Is there a death option?
I would do the butter. I could eat.
I would pick butter.
Just
not a
straight up
problem
butter.
for me.
Have you ever had straight up butter by itself?
It's not an issue.
Yeah.
That's part of your eat whatever you want, never feel full from the last one.
I'll just eat the butter. This is not a problem.
He has 6 butter and never feels full.
I've been training for this.
Yeah.
I haven't. I'm not saying the mayo would go down easy. I just think I could do that better. Sorry.
I think the worst part about it, one of them is decidedly spoonable, and the other is sort of not.
Well, what if it's room temperature butter? Then you can spoon it easily.
No, it's still not
Are
the
you
same
picturing it coming out of the fridge? What about if it's soft butter and you just sort of
Listen,
you put it on the tongue like it's ice cream.
About the same,
I reject your rules. I choose my own rules. I'm eating butter on sourdough, toasted sourdough.
Yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Well, I already do that.
Yeah.
This is not the would you rather.
What I'm going to do when we're done
one,
here.
eat whatever you
want. Would you rather, over
full.
the course of a normal period of time, eat an amount of butter you buy at the grocery store on normal things, or use up a jar of mayo by making sandwiches? That's not the question. The question is, would you rather?
The period of time is 2 hours.
Okay, so let me make this much simpler for you. Would you rather eat 1 spoonful of mayo or 1 spoonful of butter?
Mayo.
Butter. For sure.
I think mayo I could just wash away quicker. Butter would be in my mouth.
No, if anything, the butter's just going to go down as a globule, right? Once you get that thing heated up.
I don't know.
You need those good fats.
I'm not worried about good fats at that point. What are you talking about?
I'm just making stuff up.
Good fats.
I don't have a good would you rather.
Eat whatever you want but never feel full.
Yeah, most of that's going to be butter.
Here's one, because we're in the latter. Would you rather be famous for all the wrong reasons, Kanye, or not famous at all?
Not famous at all.
Yeah.
I don't want all the
Gave
negative
you guys an easy
attention.
one.
Ben's thinking about it. Drac, what are you thinking?
Drax?
As I get older, am I starting to look like old Bill Murray?
No.
Don't insult yourself. No.
I would not be famous. Then be famous for the wrong reasons.
All right, let me get another one then.
The wrong reasons would just be hate mail all day.
Yeah, but you don't have to answer it. Assuming you're rich and you have someone to...
Can't. No. No. What is drag doing? You're just
Drag.
like when you were Frost at the party in college, where you're like, who's this guy in a wheelchair rolling around? Like, Frost is so old, he comes in a wheelchair.
Just chills. Got nothing. Would you rather
Just
be?
like in the wheelchair.
Just chills.
Would you rather be Jack Frost for all of eternity, cursed to fight Santa? I think.
Is that what he does?
Sure.
Okay.
Or be Lord Dracula, cursed for all eternity, to suck blood and I don't know.
Okay. Would you
Fart
rather be
upside
Father
down.
Well,
Winter?
hold on. What does Father Winter have against Santa? Aren't they like BFFs essentially?
No, I
Have
think
you
it's
ever
like
seen the Santa Claus
it's like a
3?
cage match.
I have.
Every
I have.
year.
Yeah, but like Santa needs that snow.
Santa's the only guy holding him back. You know,
From what?
from freezing us all.
I think Jack Frost is an absolute monster to be reckoned with.
Maybe
Santa
Jack
is
Frost is the
holding him
hero, and Santa only breaks loose one day a year.
They're two sides of the same coin.
Like Santa's in a cage every day.
And he drops off presents to try to win the campaign, to win our hearts.
Oh my gosh, it's like a
You
political
got D&D
campaign.
on the mind. Back off. You gotta.
If I had to, essentially, if I have to be a bad guy, they're both bad guys.
Yeah,
let's
you're a
say.
bad guy.
I
Yeah.
would rather be Drac because it's like so scary to people. I feel like that's more fun. Now,
Yeah.
when I bite people, do they turn to vampires? I was gonna say vacuums.
I'm gonna let you choose.
I
I'm gonna
feel
let
like-
you.
You can make your own
Because-
little gang.
Well, I
You
think
know?
the general rule is if you bleed them dry, they're dead, right?
Yeah, but if I
But
just
they
bite them,
live, they become
they're a vamp.
another Dracula. I'm not gonna say they're a vampire. Everybody's a Dracula.
Oh, are they as powerful as? So maybe I don't want to.
I know, aren't I more powerful? I'm Dracula.
I was like the head.
Sounds like
They're
an
creator.
ego
henchmen.
thing. I don't know.
Aren't I like the?
They're just
you're
henchmen
like the
vampires.
dad
No, there's
of
no
the
daddy.
vampires.
There's no daddy Dracula.
Look how mad Drac is.
I'm trying to find a picture.
Did you guys ever see? If you listeners at home too, go search for what's the Bella and Arpat's
Edward?
Dracula movie? What's that movie?
Twilight?
Twilight. Go search for Twilight vampire fight scene images without the filter on it.
Oh,
It's
God.
hilarious. Because the way
No.
it's shot in the movie, I mean, it's bad in the movie where they're sort of like, they're like purring at each other. But then there's scene sets where there's no filter, there's no anything, and it's like a stage play from grade
Oh
school.
God! Also, the pictures of them when they're playing baseball.
Right, it
It's
looks
the same
absurdly
thing.
stupid.
Where it is like a stage play, and they're like, here I am to bat," and you're like, "What is that?"
They purr. They purr.
I don't
Oh my
like.
God.
All I have to go off of here is either Martin Short or Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and I don't want to be either one of those
fuck?
guys. Every
Arnold,
talking
Mr.
about?
Freeze.
Martin,
Martin
Short,
Short.
was Dracula?
no, he was
He's,
Jack Frost.
in Santa Claus 3.
Or Dracula, and like Dracula's like cool. He like lives
That's
in a
what I'm saying.
castle. He's got all kinds of
Well,
powers.
of course, you're gonna choose.
He's always like
Dracula. Look at
outsmarting
you.
Van Helsing.
I mean, look
You
at
know.
you. Of course you choose Dracula.
And
course.
like all female vampires are always like super sexy, right? So like that's like the world.
What, have you ever seen a female Frost?
That's a good
Just
great
an ice
Maybe she's
cube.
like
quest.
super
Look like an
hot.
icicle. You
Well,
can't.
maybe-
Frost
maybe
cannot
she's got
turn.
I bet
Big-
her chin could cut you. It's so goddamn.
Frost doesn't have the ability to turn people to be in his like gang.
Let's walk back. It's 1995. We have to create a sex interest for Jack
Okay.
Frost, played by
Yeah.
Martin Short. Obviously, she's
Spiky
three big
hair.
snowballs. Can you think of a space to add two more? I can't. Do we show? Maybe we pan to the back, and she has two big snowy butt cheeks.
Two big snowball ass cheeks going on.
Is it too much to put a thong on her?
No, that's exactly what they would do. That's
right.
Exactly.
So she's snow, the thong is ice?
No, I think it's a thong. I think
It's a straight
maybe
up
it's
thong.
got a Victoria's
It's on the snow.
We'll sell it. We'll what's it called? It's a product placement. It's gonna say like Victoria. It's gonna say pink on it, right? That was big then.
Oh God, yeah. Ugh.
So pink thong.
It would definitely be like a bikini where it's like one of the snowballs falls out, like that kind of thing.
Right.
You
she
know?
also has. She's.
You know, one gets smushed.
You can make a snowball as big as you want.
You could, like.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But my whole thing is like Jack Frost is just like pissing everybody off. Like nobody likes him like rolling in, blowing in the cold winter breeze. Dracula's badass.
I'm
like
just trying to have some fun with the idea of Hollywood executives in 1998. Like, what if we had a sexy Jack Frost?
Right.
And you just gave the answer.
And that's what one of them would say.
Right,
You can
right.
make snowballs as big as you want.
You could make snowballs as big as. I don't know if you knew this, Jerry.
And that's what someone's like. And they did the snap wink at them, and they were like, okay.
And suddenly you've got this absolutely bussin' Mrs. Jack Frost.
Here, I did a quick Google search.
Do we have a sketch? Oh, I thought you painted something.
What's your Google search?
Hold on.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go.
Right on.
There you go.
Good.
And that's what Jack
We got
would
it.
make.
We nailed it.
I'm going to go with Drac then because he's not making creepy wife snowmen in his spare time.
Oh, he's just turning them. He picks them from a crowd.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Yeah.
Get wild. Okay.
Ken wanted her to be actually wearing underwear. Let me see if I can find.
Only on the back. I think it's important as a 1998 studio executive that for whatever reason she has exposed breasts in the front.
Yeah, just
but
makes
on
sense.
the back when you see the chunks, the butt cheeks. There's the thong. The chunks is what came to mind because they're chunks of snow. There you go. But remove the top. Yeah.
This is getting
Just the
like
bottom.
out of hand. The chunks.
I think we got to wrap it up there.
No, I'm
turning
we need
this
to keep
off.
going.
This has
I think
gotten
we
out
need-
of control.
We have to
This
push
is done.
harder.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this week's episode, this month's episode of the Day Night Thrice podcast, episode number 50. We made it to 50 episodes. Can you believe that? If you are listening to this on audio and like to see a video version of this, go check out Date Night Dice YouTube channel. You can find all our podcasts there. If you want to tune in to the D-List Live, we do that the first Thursday of every month. Em, what's in our next movie? What's up?
Gemini Man with Will Smith and Will Smith.
Will Smith and Will Smith.
Will and Will.
Looking forward to it.
I can't hide my disappointment every time you announce it.
It's never gonna be a good movie.
I know,
You're
but
gonna be like next week is, and you're gonna be excited.
I used to at least be able to pretend that. Oh,
I do.
Maybe there's something there, but
I do think that for New Year's we need to relive a classic and go back to Mortal Engines and rewatch
Ken
it.
needs to actually finish it.
Yeah, I think we need to do that one.
Maybe you guys don't have to rewatch it.
I want to.
Yeah, I want
Okay.
to.
I want to.
We can
Maybe there'll be a
because
sequel.
when we originally did Mortal Engines was when we did the D-List and the podcast together. So it's like mixed in somewhere and who knows what.
Okay.
Like we should
That's
redo
fair.
it and
Yeah.
talk about it.
Give it a fair shake.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So we'll
right.
do that.
All right.
Well, guys, thanks everybody, and we'll see you later.
Peace.